G'day everyone, thanks for joining me at, I guess, 2 Up, or Beanie Man 2 Up. Not exactly sure on the name just yet, but thanks for joining me anyway. Today I'm going to talk about the idea of hunting the demons of the mind. So, I'm in a fairly unique position in that I have been a beneficiary of really good improvements in both hearing technology and visual technology. So I used to wear glasses, but I've had laser surgery. That's corrected my vision really, really well. I wear hearing aids and have done, since I was about, in my teenage years, and I've been very fortunate that evolution of technology. I mean, I always had hearing loss, but I sort of wore hearing aids in the teenage years. I'm very, very fortunate that hearing technology has allowed me to really function fairly normally. But what was interesting about that is that despite having the normally functioning body, I was still haunted by what I call the demons of the mind. The reality was there were still challenges and darkness in my mind that I always had to confront every day. I don't think it's a lot more or less than anybody else. I think it's just everybody has these demons to confront, and it's more obvious when you get given the very things that you desire, and then you're like, hey, just a second, shouldn't life be really easy now? But it isn't. That's what my experience is. So how do I deal with this? Well, what I do is that I consider, I guess I have a little slogan to myself: today's a good day for demon hunting. Now, what does that mean? It means that there's these fears and anxieties that appear in your mind. And rather than running from them, again, this is sort of a cliche, but rather than running from them, obviously you just run towards them. That's what you do. That's the demon hunting that I consider to be useful. Run towards your demons. Run towards them. Attack them. You don't even hate them. Just understand that there's these obstacles that get put up there in the barrier, in your mind, these things that you pay attention to that kind of draw your attention because they're very negative. And the reaction, the sort of intuition is, hey, I've got to run away from these negative things. But you don't. What you actually need to do is move towards them. And it doesn't mean you've got to get up there and be, I'm all motivated. I'm going to crush my obstacles today. Maybe you won't. Maybe the only thing you can do is at least make a pact with yourself to orient yourself towards the things that make you afraid, and take the littlest steps to get there. So for instance, if you've got some project you'll be putting off, okay, fair enough. Just do the bare minimum. Just do the one thing. Just do 10 or 15 minutes on it, just to get that moving, that you are in fact moving through there. Perhaps you're thinking of some vague sense, maybe you buy a house, but it seems really scary. Well, just do that first step. Maybe you're drawn to some sort of, great outdoor or physical adventure that you kind of, it's calling to you. And you're like, oh man, it's scary, but something's calling me. Well, then just do that first step. And maybe in the end you won't do that thing. I'm not like a big believer that you have to climb the highest mountains or have to do some extreme thing you can boast about. It's just just do that thing that you are truly drawn to. And if it's, having a scuba diving trip, if it's just, just doing a certain walk or a certain climb, or just some physical thing that always drew to you, then that's again sort of a demon of the mind. It's threatening you with lack of performance if you don't do it. So yeah, just accept that. But when something comes up, I don't want to go to work, for instance, I guarantee you on Monday I'm not going to want to go to work. But it is a necessary part of just the human experience, right? I have to get up in the morning. I have this career that gives me resources, discipline, and many opportunities. But the reason I don't want to go to work is mainly because there's these demons in my mind. There's these projects and things, obstacles, and possible negative events that I need to confront. But the point is that it's not just a job. Confronting that potential negativity is the path. Like as Joseph Goldstein or Sam Harris might say, this is the path that is the way. To see these negative events and confront them anyway is the path. It's interesting that in fact the pleasure is what generally distracts us from the path, right? The pain, if you're willing to do something even though it's painful, that tells you that it's useful in the overall, there's something greater than just that day-to-day search for pain and pleasure that must be pushing you, or you wouldn't push through the pain. So it's a very good guide to whether you're doing the right thing, is whether it's painful. If you're willing to do something that's painful or difficult or just not pleasurable, then that means it's probably the right thing, because you're being driven not by the moment considerations, by your sort of moment just desires of pain and pleasure, or desire for pleasure and avoidance of pain. You're being driven by some greater strategic purpose. So if you're doing something pleasurable, one question you have to ask yourself, is this a good thing? And many pleasures are good, like just balancing, even exercise and stuff is pleasurable. certain things are very pleasurable and rewarding. But the question was got to be asked yourself, hey, just a second, am I seeking refuge in pleasures that are destructive to avoid pain? But when you're going the pain thing, the question you ask yourself, is this worth it? And the answer usually is yes, because you wouldn't be doing it, you wouldn't be trying, you wouldn't be struggling unless you saw there was a greater purpose. And, you know. So, anyway, thanks for listening, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.